Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am out here early in the morning in July. Doing this morning's project, which is going to be replacing this large fruited cherry tomato plant, which is probably like 2 years old. I purposely picked off all of the cherries, just all of the cherry tomatoes, just probably about maybe like 3 days ago. And y'all see, it's trying to catch me. It's trying to say, no, don't pull me up. Save me, save me. And y'all know how I am. If it have like a hint of green. And see, look, we got new growth coming in. If y'all see that, I can't be tricked, y'all. I have to. Wow. Look, see? Y'all, I have to do it. You know how I am about pulling up stuff when it's still green. But I gotta do it, y'all. I have to do it because I have this very large fruited cherry tomato plant that is waiting to go in the ground, y'all. I have uppotted this thing probably about 3 times. Now I have it in this tall. I think these are the 9-inch tall, like the slender tall pots. And if you can see, let me show you, y'all know I'm working with one hand, but let me show you. I uppotted it and stuff, and on purpose. Look, if you could see, like the roots is trying to go through the bottom. Because what I was doing was I don't know, I think I probably did it maybe twice. Like I would push the plant down and then add more soil on top, and push the plant down and add more soil on the top. And I probably could push it down one more time, but y'all, I need to, because it's probably at least 6 inches deep, the soil. And so I already have to dig down deep in this bucket just to fit this plant in at soil level. So I'm gonna do that. I don't have my stand with me today, so I need to pause right now and dig up this plant and then put the plant in. So y'all, it'll be like clips in and out. Y'all take a moment and click that like button, subscribe to my channel, click the notifications bell, make sure it is set to all, y'all, because that's how they get you. Make sure your notifications bell is set to all. Y'all, let me dig up this plant and then I'll come back and show you the rest of what I'm doing. But basically, this video is about me digging up this old cherry tomato plant and then replacing it with this new cherry tomato plant. I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the tomato plant. All of the stakes and sticks and everything I had in there. That is a very nice root system, and it obviously was still supporting this tomato plant because it was still growing and still producing. But y'all, I have to just learn how to just let stuff go sometime, even when it's still being productive. But like I said, this tomato plant was, I think, going on 2 years old. So, and I have another one, y'all. I have so many more tomato plants. I kind of overdid it because my first sowing of seeds just was slow out the gate, and I sowed a second sowing of seeds, and then some of the first stuff came up, and of course most of the first stuff that came up was the tomatoes. Y'all, tomatoes are very hardy. They are very easy to grow, and I think that's why so many people grow them, and why it's so many people's first experience with gardening, like growing stuff on their own tomato, because tomatoes will come through for you. So this is the dirt, the soil that's in the bucket. I still have, you can see like some of the roots and stuff in here, but I'm gonna mix this up. And because this tomato plant is so tall, I need to empty, at least temporarily, some of this soil out of the bucket. And so I went and got my bucket. This one had vermiculite in it, but I'm just going to use it temporarily to transfer some of this soil. Y'all, what is this? They got a barcode on it, so I don't think it belongs up in here. But I'm just going to temporarily take some of this soil out so I can place the tomato plant, and then I'll redo the soil. That light color that you see there, I think that's some of that bone meal. Y'all remember the bone meal that got wet? And I dried it out and went through the whole process and saved as much as I could. Yes, I did. Because hashtag waste not, want not is a way of life. Here's another, that's another little chunk of it. You can see that's bone meal. I'll break that up. But anyway, y'all, let me empty out some of this soil, place this plant, and then I'll come back and show you that. All right, so I have taken out a fair amount of the soil. I did place the plant in here just to see like how deep it'll be. And remember, the tomato plant is not this whole 9 inches. It's probably about 6 inches. So even though it's a little bit above the pot, above the top of this bucket, it is going to go down some because the plant is not that tall. So I wanted to show you. So this is like the remnants of that bone meal that I was telling y'all about. I sure did. I saved as much as I could, and I am going to put a little bit of this in the planting hole, and I'm also going to put some of this. Now, this is not fish or oven roasted, never fried, less than 50% peanuts with sea salt and mixed nuts. That's not, this is some of that Dr. Earth 222 organic fertilizer. So that's this. I just put it in this container, y'all. Now look, I even put a note, save this jar, because this is nice and handy. And that bag, I think that was like a 20-something pound bag of fertilizer, y'all. So this little containers and stuff, it comes in handy for me to put in my shed over there. So I'm going to put the camera down, y'all, once again. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. So I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of both of these down in the bottom, put the plant in, fill in the soil, and then at the very top mix in just a little bit more. And I'm using bone meal because I want to help produce the fruit. So if I was using blood meal, you know, that's a source of nitrogen, and that'll give me my leafy areas in my greenery, y'all. I don't want greenery. I want red cherry tomatoes. So that's where the bone meal will come in, because that's going to give me my P, which is my phosphorus, and phosphorus is good for the fruits. And then the Dr. Earth's is a low dose complete fertilizer. It is 222, so it's 2 for nitrogen, 2 for phosphorus, and 2 for potassium, so NPK. So I'll be good there. And this tomato plant is obviously well established and growing. I even have some flowers starting, and so that's why I definitely want to give it a boost of the bone meal. So y'all, let me take care of that, and then I'll be back. All right, I just wanted to show y'all this right quick. So this is, you see, nice white healthy roots. And let me be careful with this. I'm gonna just tilt this because I already broke off one branch, but that's all right, because I'm gonna take this branch off too. Now what I normally do is, if I'm gonna take off lower branches before transplanting, up potting, whatever, I usually do that 1 to 2 days before to give that spot a chance to heal over. With tomatoes, you can kind of get away with it, but I just make it a healthy practice, because what I don't want is for the internals of the stem to be exposed to whatever might be in this dirt. Unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen today. But just so you know, I do make a practice of pruning off lower leaves and branches and stuff or whatever, and letting the plant heal over for a day or two before I up pot, just to reduce the chance of any soil-borne diseases or bugs or whatever that might get into the plant and weaken it when it's already going to be going through a little bit of transplant shock. I wet the soil just a little bit at this level, just because, and I did sprinkle in some of the bone meal and the 222. So I'm going to get this potted. I'm going to fill it in with this dirt, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right, here is the tomato plant again. This is a large fruited cherry tomato plant, and I'm going to put put my little labels, y'all. These are ones that I made myself. I traced out the labels that you get from Dollar Tree on the flexible chopping boards, also from the Dollar Tree, and I just made my own. And I have made many of these for a lot cheaper than like 10 for $1.25. And then, of course, originally when I'm doing my seed starch, I usually just do popsicle sticks because it's cheaper and that's what I prefer to do. I mixed in a little bit of the bone meal in the 222 at the top, and y'all, that bone meal smell like buttermilk. Okay, it is not. Oh my goodness, that stuff stink. But I'm just mixing this in a little bit here. I'm gonna water this in, and I did see that the first, remember I told y'all I watered a little bit in the middle, and I see the water. What is that, a cherry? Y'all know I'm about to get that and rinse it off real well, and if it don't have any bug damage, it will be eaten, y'all. Y'all think I be playing with that waste not one. Look, let me check on this side and see. That's the I think that's the tomato leaf that I accidentally, no, that's the one back there that I accidentally broke off, and then I went ahead and just cut off that other one right there. So, but just mixing this in. I did plant it in at a good depth. At a good depth. Let me just kind of shake this to even it out. I done took my gloves off. And normally, just depending on how I feel, y'all, I really prefer to just really get my hands in the dirt. Haha, shout out to Stacy, hands in the dirt. But sometimes I put on my gloves. These particular gloves that I have today, I like these. I can't remember if I got these from Dollar Tree or if I got them from Home Depot. I like them, but they are a thicker glove. I probably got these from Home Depot. The ones at the Dollar Tree, I find, or at least the ones that I have purchased, are a little bit thinner. And I like them because the thinner gloves, I can feel more what I'm doing. And then I'm more likely to keep my gloves on. But these thicker gloves, usually if I'm sifting soil or just doing garden work that doesn't have me kind of like directly dealing with the plants themselves, I'll use these thicker gloves. But if I'm dealing with the plants like themselves, if I need to feel the plant, then I use the thinner gloves or no gloves at all. So this is it. I'm going to stick this tag in here so I know what I planted, and I'll even put this one, I'll put this one back here. Y'all, the pool guy just came, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video like right now. Y'all comment, like, share, subscribe, notifications bell, set the all, like all of that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna go ahead and let the pool guy do his work. Thank y'all for watching. Here is the new cherry tomato plant, y'all, and I can't wait to get more food because y'all know your girl likes to eat. Bye.